Guys, so today we're going to learn how to make these mittens. I really designed them because I liked fingerless, but I wanted something that could still cover my fingers when it's really chilly. So I'm going to go into the tutorial of how to do that, and there's going to be a pattern to go along with it. So anything that I don't mention in the video, you can find in the pattern. So if you'd like to know how to make this, just keep watching.
So for this pattern, I already started the wrist for you. It's pretty simple. It will be in the pattern. But after you do the wrist, you're going to be working in the round. So I completed the first round of single crochet. And the second round, you're going to work on top of the first single crochet of the round. Because for this mitten, we're going to be working in a continuous circle. So I'm going to work a single crochet in that first stitch of the previous row, and I'm going to place a stitch marker there to easily identify where I started. And for this pattern, you're going to be working in the back loop of the single crochet. So I'm going to complete this second row of single crochet working in the back loop, and then back at the beginning. So I'm here again, working towards the beginning of the next row, and you will see that I'm going to remove that stitch marker. Then I'm going to work in that stitch that I just removed the stitch marker from, and then I'm going to place back my stitch marker. So I'm going to continue working around in the back loops only. And if I didn't mention it before, this is a medium size gloves. In the pattern, I'll give you my exact measurements for my hand and what correlates to what. So this is the full view of the glove without the attachment. I'll show you how I count my rows. So this is 1 row, 2, 3, and so on. So you face the glove where it's the right side facing on top, and you're just going to count the ridges. To work 5 rows of just plain single crochet in the back loops, and then on the 6th row we're going to do an increase. So I'm going to come back on that row. Now working on the 6th row, and I've already worked 3 single crochet. I'm going to work 1 more single crochet, and in my 5th space, instead of just 1 single crochet, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to work another single crochet. So every 5th stitch, you're going to work 2 single crochets in the back loop instead of just 1. And that is how we'll do our increase. To continue to work around in the back loop, making sure to do 2 single crochets instead of 1 in every 5th stitch, and I should just have an increase of, if I remember correctly, 5 stitches. This will be clear in the pattern. I don't have it in front of me at the moment. I'm going to continue working around, and then I'll meet you back at the very beginning. We're working back around to the first stitch of the previous round or row. So after that row of increase, I'm just going to do 4 additional rows to reach, for the mittens to reach the web of our thumb. So after it reaches the web of the thumb, we're going to work on shaping the thumb. So we're going to start on the 9th row, and we're going to count 10 spaces from that first single crochet that starts the row, and we're going to fold that in half, and that is going to be our space for our thumb. After we've counted our 10th single crochet, we're going to just mark that, and you can mark that by tugging on the yarn from that area, or I'm just going to place a stitch marker there. Right now I'm using a pin because it's most accessible. Marker because we're going to work into that stitch. Sorry, not single crochet, we're just going to push our hook through that stitch and the 10th stitch on the opposite side. Get that through there. We've gotten it through. Now we're going to yarn over, pull through both, and form a single crochet. So now you can remove that pin or whatever marker you were using, and I'm going to place back a marker in that first stitch so that I know kind of where I started my thumb row. And as you can see, I'm not moving it up because I could kind of trace back from where I started to find the first one. So I'm just going to keep working in the row, in the round, and then I'm going to snip off and cinch my thumb hole. To this joined area, it could look a little spacey, so if you need to work in both stitches or work an extra stitch, that's totally fine. As you can see here, I'm taking the stitch out because it left a little hole, and I'm just going to work in both stitches to close up that hole. So it's not a big deal when it comes to doing things a little bit different in that joining area because you won't see it. I've worked round and around for my thumb, and if you count, it's 10 rows, so it's easy. 10 stitches, 10 rows, that's your thumb. And if you've already created one, you could just double check. If you're not really counting, just double check to see that it's the same height. Just cutting that, and just gonna pull up on the yarn, cinch that close, and I'm just going to work on the body of the mitten, because I'm going to cinch close the thumb in just a few minutes. So the body, I'm going to get the yarn and join it right in the middle of the thumb area. That's the best way to hide it. We're going to join it by tying it on. And what I'm going to do is single crochet around. And I'm going to try to weave in that yarn while I'm going around. So I'm going to push through the back loop, and I'm going to pull through. As you can see, I pulled through both ends, but I only yarned over with one, so that made sure that my single crochet wasn't coming out really thick. So again, I pushed through, pulled through both, but I only yarned over with the end that is attached to the ball, and then I would cinch it tightly. And again, I'm so sorry for the noise. I'm going to show you again. Pull both through, yarn over with the end that's attached to the ball, and pull it so that it gets tight. Doing this for a few more rows, and then I won't need to anymore, and then I could cut that end. I almost forgot that I need to place the stitch marker where I started. In this case, it's easy to tell because I have that slip knot created at the start. Not slip knot, but I have that joining there, so it's easy to identify. I try not to forget because I may get too far and not be able to see it. I'm just going to continue working in the round, and again the pattern will tell you how many rows you need to complete. Now I'm going to be working on closing up that thumb hole, and as you can see, I already threaded the needle and I'm pulling it from the front through the back loop only. So I'm going to make sure I insert it in every single stitch. This should be 10 stitches. And after doing so, I'm going to pull on this yarn and carefully pull it closed. Push that needle through to the inside so that I could hide the tail of it on the inside.
Okay, so now we're going to attach our finger cover or the flap for our mittens. And I've done this a couple of ways to find the best way to do it to give the prettiest result or the most seamless result. So you're going to attach your mittens 11 spaces down from the top. If you kind of messed up with your rows, you could just make sure that it lines up to where we separated the thumb. And you're going to use a crochet hook for this, and you're going to work along that row. So you're going to line it up, and you're going to push your needle through the front loop, and you could push it through the ridge that was formed from us working through the back loop only. But I found that the best result was when we pushed through the front loop of the flap, but then you would push through the entire single crochet stitch of the next side. So right here I'm pushing through only the front loop of the mitten, but I'm going to show you what I do prefer doing is to just push through, so push it all the way in through the back of that single crochet stitch. So this is your mitten all seamed, and if you can see towards the left hand side where I was working through both through the entire single crochet of the mitten, it looks a lot better than the right hand side where I was just working through the front loop. But either way, it's not too bad if you do either one. But that's the end result of the mitten. Try it on for you guys. I was trying this on a lot during the tutorial. But also try to seam your flap all the way to the side, all the way right there. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get right back to you. Now I'm going to attach the fasteners, and you don't necessarily need to use fasteners. I just kind of prefer it to buttons, but it's really your choice. So I would suggest, I was in a rush to make this video, so I didn't think it through in terms of attaching the fasteners, but I would suggest that you attach the fasteners pre-attaching the flap. So before you attach the flap to the mittens, I would attach the fasteners first. It just makes it a lot easier. So I'm using a black thread. Should have really used a brown and actually get a gold fastener, but whatever, this is what I had on hand. So you're just going to sew it on. Make sure that they line up before you sew it on, and then you're going to be all done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, you can find the full pattern on my website, www.snowflakecrochets.com. I will put the link in the description bar below. You could also follow me on Instagram at Snowflake Crochets with an S. All that information will also be on my website. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to show that you liked the video and it was helpful, and also subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!